It's so stupid. Damn you, Google Plus. Yeah, that's how I start my show. In your face, Google Plus. Oh, you know what the other we've been talking for a few minutes. Obviously, my guest today is the awesome I call her Kat, but obviously the internet knows her as Comicuno. She is a comic reviewer as well as now she joins the ranks of the rest of us yahoos as a comic writer.
Yes, I'm very excited to be in the ranks of comic writer slash reviewer and everything I do on the internet.
But I like because this was my mom gave me the tablet, and how we were talking about the tablet.
Mhm.
It's very Hawkeye. I don't know if you can tell the color there.
Oh, I can from here, but I'm like a little bit. I can see the purple a little bit now. I
Yep.
can. That's
It's
awesome.
very Hawkeye. Supposedly his costume in Civil War is gonna look even more like the comics.
Oh, that's great to hear because like I feel like they've been gradually trying to do it. And Jeremy,
I would love to see a version of the mask.
yeah, yeah, pretty cool. We'll
Because I
see.
feel like he's gonna need it out of anyone. If I have the feeling that his family might be in danger. Like I feel like his info might get leaked because of something stupid that Tony does, and
I mean,
he'll be in danger.
let's hope they play with secret identity. Obviously, they would have to in Civil War. They play with secret identities. I'm hoping that's what I love about superheroes. Their secret identities are cool too, and they haven't really played with that as much in the MCU just yet.
So, Kat, to start with, when when did you start reading comics? Like, how young were you? Do you even remember?
I was very young. I don't remember even the time when I first picked up comics because it's such a long time ago. My dad actually got me into comics, which is kind of ironic because my comic is like about the like daughter. But yeah, he was into the whole DC Silver Age stuff. He used to read it to us on the couch with me and my brother. My brother didn't really get into comics that much, but I got into that with Silver Age stuff, and then also the cartoons and movies helped me get into like Marvel, and I became more of a Marvel fan growing up. But now I'm very much a 50-50 DC Marvel fan. So yeah, I've been reading comics for the longest time. Probably my first like favorite was like Spider-Man, and then I got into Kitty Pryde because X-Men Evolution. So yeah, it's been a fun ride. I've been reading comics all my life.
And then, of course, just like a lot of awesome fans, you were like, "Wait, there's a Spider Girl," and then getting every single issue imaginable, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I remember. I actually remember the specific time. I think I was like an eighth grade or so. And usually when I go on vacation, I go to the comic store before, pick up some back issues to read on the plane. We go to Florida like every year, and we went to Universal that year. And I picked up and was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I read it, and Spider Girl. So then I went to Universal and I saw the trade of Spider Girl. I'm like, all right, let me give this more of a try. Read the Amazing Spider Girl first trade. I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. And then I picked up all the back issues. I've been reading Spider Girl for a very long time.
Yeah, you have one up on me. You've actually interviewed DeFalco.
Yes, yes. I think now, I think it was only twice, but hopefully.
Twice, yeah. I think so,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think it was twice now. So that was very cool. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get Howard Mackey on one of these days because Mutant X.
Hmm.
That was my that was like I love Spider Girl as much as an X person, but Mutant X was mine. I think that was one of the things that like I could remember begging my dad to buy me an issue when I saw the cover with they found Charles Xavier, and it's like, oh my god, what's going on here? I need to find out what's going on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you when it came to the MC2 universe, especially when you got into Spider Girl, did you check out like the other books when it came to like Wild Thing and J2 and whatever? What was the Avengers book called? That's what I don't remember. Was it A
A
Next?
next. A
It
next.
was A Next. Okay.
Yeah, I checked them all out. I got all the little reader digests. I read the Dark Devil. I read Buzz. I read Wild Thing. I read Anex. I even read The Last Stand, which was a story. I've read everything of the MC2. So yeah, and I
Last
graduated.
Stand wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I'll fight you. I'll fight you.
it was
Then of
okay.
course I love what they did with Spider Island. I mean Spider Verse.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I still have my my thing where Peter died. I'm a little upset about that. I think even Tom DeFalco and Ron Friends are upset, but I'm excited for what they're gonna do in the Spider Island secondary story, which comes out I think next month. So
I did
very
it too.
excited
The
for that.
Spider Island Spider Verse thing. I keep doing that.
Oh yeah, well she of course had her story in Spider-Verse, and then she was
Yeah.
supposed to be in Spider-Verse, but they cut her out because they're like, oh, we're gonna put you in Spider Island instead with Tom DeFalco and Ron Friends. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. At least she's somewhere.
As long as she's somewhere in the battle world, I'm good.
Exactly, and hopefully like no one else dies. And I want to see her journey as Spider Woman. I'm excited for her, even though I'm not particularly a fan that they're calling her Spider Woman. I don't think they had to go that route, but I'm still a fan of obviously seeing where her story goes, especially DeFalco and Friends on the book.
It's been fun to see the growth of some of the growth and the strength of some of the female characters, especially with Marvel lately. Because you have Miss Marvel, you have Captain Marvel, you have Spider Woman, you have Arana still kicking around, you have May, you have X-23 now becoming Wolverine, which
Yeah,
she looks good in that costume. She looks
yeah, I'm
awesome.
excited. She looks great in that, and I've been an X-23 fan for a very long time because, as you know, I'm a big X-Men Evolution fan. So I'm super excited about this. More exposure to the character, which she deserves.
Have you met Marjorie Liu?
I have not actually. I know obviously she worked on the previous X-23 series, but I have not.
Yeah, I was lucky. The last New York Comic Con I went to, I forgot who I was talking to. I think I was like talking to Jeremy Hahn at his table. Yeah, yeah. Name dropper, unintentional name dropper. Don't give me a hard time, listeners. And I turn around and I see her over at Jim McCann and Janet K. Lee's table, and it takes me a second, but I'm like, wait, is that Marjorie Liu? And obviously I've had her on the show. That's why I was like, oh wait, I've never actually met her in person. So like walked over, said hi, and the second I mentioned, the podcast, she's just like, oh yeah, I remember. And we took a picture together, and she's sweetest person imaginable. Beautiful too. So
I will have to hopefully one day when I see her at a con. That'd be awesome. But yeah, are you going to New York Comic Con again next year or?
really not. I haven't even applied for a press badge because at every chance I get, whenever I apply to a Repop show, they keep rejecting me. So I don't know why I
I
should
would try
bother.
doing it early because it seems like if you do it like now, always try. The worst thing that's gonna
Maybe.
happen is no, and then you plan it out. But yeah, I applied this year. I just applied like yesterday, and I got some tickets too for the fam because they like going.
I do have some friends that live in Manhattan, so I might try and be like, can I crash?
Hey, Manhattan's a fun place. I go to Manhattan like almost every day. It takes a while to get there, but yeah, I'm there all the time. It's a fun place.
Yeah, where is your local stomping ground when it comes to your local comic book shop? Because I'm pretty sure I've heard you talk about it before, but
Yeah,
curious.
my local comic book store is actually it is a Manhattan store, and where I live, Staten Island. It is Jim Hanley's Comic Books. It used to be called Jim
Okay.
Hanley's Universe. I always call it Jim Hanley's Universe, but Jim Hanley's Comic Books. It's so cool. They're really down to earth. They're one of the bigger city stores in Manhattan. I would say it's Forbidden Planet, Midtown, and Jim Hanley's Comic Books. So check it out. It's an awesome store. Great people.
That is not only Comixology, but I just downloaded, since we're talking Forbidden Planet. I have 2000 AD on here, the smartphone app. I just gotta start. I gotta start picking up more Dread. Yay!
Yes.
I love Dread so much. I mean, not just the movie, but I've been like my buddy Sean got me into Dread, and I mean, obviously we love the movie as much as other people, you and I, but like one of these days we might finally get that sequel. Carl Urban wants it to happen, so they should
Well,
will
I
it
know a
into
lot of people want
existence.
it. I have not seen that Dread movie yet. I should though.
Oh, I thought you did.
I have not. We have.
After all of us praised it as much as we did back then, you never saw it?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance. I want. I've never seen the original
Yeah,
either.
it's on Netflix.
I know I have no excuse, but I'm more of a. I mean, I love movies too, but I'm more of a TV show person. So if I'm on Netflix, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna binge watch this show. And then you have Orange is the New Black airing this coming week, so that's another. Me and Jay are gonna be doing a podcast for it, so we're binging it all week. So it's like always binging another show.
But to backtrack a little is I'm curious when you decided to become like an online reviewer, because it seems like obviously it's been a few years, but it seems like, say, like perfect example is you didn't really like see the reviewer craze popping up until like that guy with the glasses and Channel Awesome back in what was that, 2007, 2008. So when did you decide, and what were you inspired by to decide to start reviewing?
This is a fun story. I had the Hayden Claire Heroes YouTube channel since 2009, but I was on YouTube like 2007. I had another channel, and like I was stupid and I uploaded like TV shows, and I thought you could, but I didn't know about copyright when I was in like 7th grade, so that got deleted, that YouTube channel. But then I made a new one, Hayden Claire Heroes, and I just used it to like favorite videos or whatever. But then me and my friend Luke, who I'm still very good friends with, he's my best friend, he was into comics at the time. We were on Comic Vine, and at the time, Sarah and Tony still works there, they had these video reviews, and I remember they would review iZombie, the first issue when that literally came out so many years ago, and they would review all this stuff, and me and my friend Luke were like, why don't we do this? This is so cool. So we started up a channel called, well, we used it on my channel, but we made a show called Comic Duo, and my friend started falling out of comics. He doesn't really like comics now, but I said, I still want to do this. I really love this. So then Comicuno was spawned, and that's what happened. So I started this around 2010, so it's been like 5 years, and everyone was like, oh, I feel like you're relatively new. I'm like, nope, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. So yeah, 5 years.
You know, I think I actually just got your nickname for the first time.
That many people say that. I was like, oh, Comicuno, what does that mean? It's like, yep, Comic Duo was the first one. That's why I'm called Comicuno.
So I was just like, oh, wow, brain. Congrats. And then I blink. What can I ask? Lost my train of thought, Kat.
You know me for so long, too, so.
Yeah, what, 3 years? 4 years?
Yeah, you've known me for a while.
I think we.
On, you're pausing out. Or me, I'm pausing out. I think, Eric, I can't hear you. You're pausing out. So what were you saying?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
Before you pause.
Yeah, I think we followed each other on Twitter, like, I want to say, like, probably a year before, like, Chris introduced us in the first place.
Yeah, we met at New York ComicCon, I remember, so that was maybe, like, 2 years ago, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, so, yeah, but we were following each other on Twitter before, because Chris knew you, and yeah. I didn't know you until after that.
All Brandt's fault.
It's all Brandt's fault. It's always Brandt's fault.
No, I mean the connection with Chris.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's always Brandt's fault, but you know, good fault.
Yeah, I love Chris. But obviously there is the existence of Comic Frontline, which I am the least active member of. Oops. I'm a very busy man. I try, and by try I mean barely try. One of these days I'll get back into helping, but I feel bad that I.
Hey, honorary member, you can post whenever you want.
Yeah, I know. It's still one of those things that I feel bad about, but yeah, I guess we should backtrack and explain how the network that is Comic Frontline, or the group that is Comic Frontline, started, and go there.
Yeah. You're starting to pause out a bit, but hopefully you can hear me. I think you can.
I can.
So yeah, Comic Frontline, we were actually called the group called Dark Avenger Inc. at first, and I think this started, I graduated high school when it started, so it was about 2012 we did it. Right now I'm going to be a senior in college, so yeah, it was 2012 we started Dark Avenger Inc. We started these live shows on Chris's channel, actually. And then we thought, hey, you know what? It's a bit too much like Marvel, and you know, we're a sect group now. Let's make another group called Comic Frontline. So it was me, Jay, Mike Spireslayer, Michael, Chris, and Brant. And then, of course, you know, Lisa, you, Eric, and then Kevin, people that post. So we all end up going on Comic Frontline and, you know, making, you know, something that's not so much like Marvel and, you know, have the Marvel name, and try to become an even more professional website. Now we have a website that Jay, he's the editor of. Nicole DeAndrea, who's my editor for Entertainment Fuse, she writes for that site. Also, Jeremy, my good friend, Mr. J's Comic Book Reviews, writes for it. So yeah, we're only been on for maybe a year now. We have over 2,000 subscribers, which is great. We have 2 wonderful podcasts, Media Madness and Frontline Live, great reviews. We've had interviews on there, and we're extremely happy with the progress we've made, and the friendships that we've had, and the great chemistry the group has. So yeah, Comic Frontline's just been amazing.
Shout out to Mike, because he deserves more Twitter followers.
Yeah, shout out to everybody, yeah, but especially Mike. Mike Spire's like, he needs more Twitter followers. I know his Facebook like page is doing very well, so I'm happy to hear that.
I think he's still under 100 Twitter followers, so that's why I always Mike needs more followers. He's awesome.
Yeah, he has to use more Twitter. He has to go on Twitter because he deserves definitely more followers than that.
I feel bad now that I'm thinking about it because I haven't talked to Mike in forever.
Yes, well, we should all do something soon. Make a big collab video.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yes.
So since you are writing comics now and we will seg into this in a minute, but I am curious about where the idea came from for your comic, and if you want to tell people, give the as my buddy Tyler has called it before, the Twitter elevator pitch, the 180 characters or less, which most of us who have tables at shows have kind of developed into that pitch for when people walk by to start a conversation with them, be like, oh, what's this about, and then tell them in the shortest way possible, kind of thing.
Yeah, I've definitely found an elevator pitch throughout this time making a comic. But yeah, going back to it, I actually created this for a screenplay writing class I did for class, and it's a movie actually. It's a 90-page movie. And then sitting on my desktop for a little while, and I was starting to work it again and just look at it. I'm like, I really love this story, and I think people should read it. And I'm like, why can't I make a comic out of this? So I go on YouTube and say, hey, I'm looking for an artist, blah blah blah. I want to start making this comic, and then Short Fuse Media, which is an awesome group of people, they came to me and says, hey, we could get you an artist, we could be your company, let's do this. And we started production. Obviously, we had to make money for it, so we did Kickstarter, which we got over $6,000 for. And, it was great seeing some writers of comics that I really look up to back it up, artists, which was really cool. Yeah, so we started that, and finally now, after a year, issue 1's now being, sold online, and, I'm going to shows, and people are starting to, review it, which is really cool, and read it. And what the book is about, and this is my short elevator pitch, it's about a 16-year-old girl. Her father leaves her to become a full-time superhero. So that means everyone loves him except for her. And it's very much this father-daughter book. So it's about drama, yes, it's about superheroes, and it's about making fun of superhero tropes and playing with them. I'm obviously a comic book fan, so I'm going to make Spider-Man references like every issue, and you'll see that. And there's a geek that will be introduced in issue 2, where he's just a superhero dictionary, and he's just going to make references here and there. And Casey is this noob. She doesn't know anything about comics, so she'll tell her best friend about all this if she doesn't think anything's wrong about it. So it's, her not knowing the rules of comic books and / superheroes and being related to a superhero. So yeah, that's kind of the general idea. I think I went over my elevator pitch, but yeah, it's a cool book. A lot of twists and turns.
And with a successful Kickstarter under your belt, which I'm sure has helped in turn with having the review YouTube channel and having the following that you already had, I'm sure that helped a lot through the campaign.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I said, a lot of writers backed it up, and also my viewers, which are very appreciative, and people in my life also backed it up. Friends and family, and all together, $6,000 is crazy. Over 100 backers. So I can't be more blessed than that. Starting this I was 19 at the time, so now 20 now is just it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you honestly, at the stage you're at, at this point, you had a table at a Reed Pop show, yeah. And you're only 20. you're at a much better place than I was at 20, because I don't think I even knew how I think I just started writing on comic related when I was no, actually, now I'm thinking about it. I don't think I started writing on comic related until I was 21, maybe. So I think you perfect example is you're like at a much better place than say I was. Is I'm obviously being 28 now, it's just like I'm still not 100% where I'd want to be. But do you want to talk like how do you feel being at the place you're at now with your career and kind of like seeing at least some of the goals being reached this early on, so to speak?
It's so crazy. It really is. Like, again, I mean, when I started college, I didn't expect to say, hey, I'll be writing a comic by the end of college. You know, it's always been a dream to write comics. And also, I was like, when I was in high school, I wasn't sure if I wanted to write. I was just like, and I remember you could actually look at my early Q&A videos. Every Q&A, someone will ask, oh, do you want to be a writer? I was like, I don't know. I guess I felt, a little, I don't know. I was just like very trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I loved reviewing, and I was like, oh, do I want to be a writer or not? And then I, started writing more and more, and college really helped that a lot, and becoming a regular writer, and then also I'm a journalist minor, so I also write articles for that, so that helped me a lot too. And yeah, it's just finding this thing I love now, and just it's really cool to create your own stories, and it's just this other side, because obviously I'm a reviewer, so it's always me interviewing. And this, honestly, I see this a lot during special New York Comic-Con, because I'm like, I want to interview people, but I got to stay here. And, I was telling my friends to help me out, which I want to give a shout-out to everyone that helped me out. They did it totally for free, and they did a wonderful job, and I have great friends that helped. But anyway, so I was like, oh, I have to wear two hats. I got to be interviewer, I got to be exhibitor. But I realized, hey, I'm an exhibitor here. I'm going to stay at the table. And I didn't do interviews there. And I'm like, well, I'll do interviews at San Diego, and I'll do it at New York Comic-Con. So it's now trying to balance, being a reviewer and a writer. So that's going to be the hard part over the years. But obviously, that's a blessed complication here. I mean, in a blessed hardship, which is not really a hardship at all. It's just finding the balance, and it's really cool.
Starter campaign is how you guys were able to get the table at such a such a big show, but obviously they're only in their second year, but at the same time it is Reed Pop though. It's interesting knowing prices.
Hold on, Eric, you're pausing out. You said that Repop was a big show, but then you started pausing out. And you're paused.
What?
Yeah, okay, so you're saying Repop was a big show. Can you repeat yourself, because I didn't hear it?
Yeah.
Now you paused again. Hold on.
Cat.
Yeah, can you hear me? You paused out again. So could you... I think you're good now. Okay.
Am I good now?
Yes, we're good now, I think.
It's because I keep cursing them out. I keep saying, "Damn you, Google Plus." I'm turning into Chris.
He starts every show like that. I swear, he still does it. But go on. You were saying about Reed Pop.
Oh yeah, it's just because like the Reed Pop in general, they have C2E2 and New York Comic-Con and all the PAX shows they help run, and it feels like a majority of those are at San Diego like numbers, even though
New York.
What? Yeah, especially New York. Yeah, New York is at San Diego levels, but Special Edition is only in its second year. But knowing like their table costs and stuff like that was obviously you can be as vague as possible. But I mean, was that part of the Kickstarter campaign?
Yeah,
to help fund the
campaign, and Short Fuse Media helped me out with all the funding of the table, which was great. But yeah, it's definitely it's expensive cost. It was definitely worth the cost, because we sold 111 issues that weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's really good for an indie book. And
that's awesome, Kat.
Yeah, so we were very happy about it. And then I met YouTube fans, which was really cool. Like I went into it, and I was just like, I don't know if anyone's going to show up. And I was just like, and we actually had a really good place where we sat, because we were right by Artist Alley, which is the main attraction, really, and right by the panels, and right next to Midtown Comics. So we just had a really awesome place that we were sat by, and it was a big booth. We had an exhibitor booth, so it was great.
Oh, so you were on like the main floor where there's the similar to New York, how New York has the black exhibitor tables,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
black carpet, whatever they call it.
Yeah, it's
That
much
area.
smaller though, so it's just like
Okay.
exhibitors. There's panels on the other side, and then there's some artist alley tables. So it's smaller, but there's so many people there. I mean, there's tons and tons of people, and but made new fans, which was really cool. And then I was one of those people that I just tried to be as energetic as possible. And someone that was next to me, which I found out later in the show, my mom was with me because she was helping me out, and the guy next to her said, oh my God, your daughter is so energetic. That's so great to see. And I was energetic for like 20 hours, 20 plus hours, because I mean, I didn't take a break. I think I got something to eat and that's it. So yeah, it's like I literally lost my voice after the con. It's still healing, but yeah, it was really great. And I tried to be, because I'm as appreciative for this as possible, and I wanted to show that.
Yeah, how does that change, say, like a person who's a reviewer in yourself to being the creator behind the table? How did that change your ideology and your mindset going to a convention, especially when you've attended what, like 3 or 4 at this point now?
Oh, I've
Conventions a
yeah,
year?
I've been going to New York ComicCon since the second year it's been going on. So I've been
Oh,
going
okay.
since eighth grade. But I've been going as press for about 3 years, and then I
Yeah.
went as exhibitor. I mean, I helped out POW Entertainment, Stan Lee's thing, when I was in high school. So I did that once. I've been doing New York Comic Con stuff for a lot, but obviously this is my first exhibiting as myself. And like I said before, it's interesting balance because like, am I a creator? Am I a reviewer? I found out obviously I'm both, and it's a really cool balance because now like I know all the secrets about this book, and people like I saw a review already. They're like, oh my God, that last page with the and I won't spoil it, but that last page with the vulnerable, I want more. And I'm like, well, you'll see what happens with that character. So now I'm the one keeping secrets, and I want to reveal everything, obviously, but obviously I want everyone to wait and get those surprises that are coming up. And yeah, it's really cool. And then also seeing the different demographics, like I saw, daughters with their fathers who bought the book, fans of the show who bought the book. It's really cool to see different people enjoying it, and it's really like I said, it's just such a fun experience. And over 100 issues, it's blessed, it really is. It's so cool.
Yeah, especially for a first time show. That really is huge, Kat. I'm in no way downplaying that or upplaying it for you. That is extremely rare to my knowledge for an independent creator first starting off. That is huge, Kat.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, I was baffled.
But so has it like changed your mind, well, changed your mindset moving forward to say, like, because I know, perfect example, when I started in, first getting tables at Boston Comic Con back in 2011, and then going from there, I have that idea in the head. It's just like, oh, I want to do as many shows as possible. Is that becoming something new for you? Do you want to do like more and more shows moving forward, whether it be maybe like 50-50, where like you'll get a press badge at some and then get a table at others, or
Yeah,
you prefer?
again, hard balance, it really is. But I also know how much I can do, and that's something I've been trying to discover. Also, is like you can't do everything. I would like to try maybe if people could invite me to shows. I've gotten invited to Newark Comic Con, Newark. So I don't know. I'll see what happens with that. But so yeah, I'm definitely gonna do special edition next year. I think that's a huge show that I think it's just the perfect amount of people. I feel like New York Comic Con's a bit too big for exhibiting. I'd rather do press for that, and obviously for San Diego, I'd rather do press. So yeah, it's finding the balance. And I mean, right now, I think the one show, special edition, will definitely be the exhibiting show. And hopefully I'll find more in the future. And yeah, I'll definitely want to do more. It obviously just has to do with time. But yeah, New York Comic Con's in San Diego will stay as press for me though.
You should try smaller shows, because I know New York, being in New York, there's like plenty that you could definitely check out.
I think throughout this year, as we set to get issue 2, I'm gonna look more into the other shows because I want to do smaller shows and see what weekends they're part of. Once school starts, it's got to get a bit
Yeah.
harder. But yeah, this is my last year of school, so figuring that all out and getting more shows, I'm really looking forward to.
Do you during the weekend, it did seem like a really, really fun show. I saw all the videos that Chris was posting that Cindy, and Mike
Michael.
did. My brain blanked on poor Mike's name. I love you, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike. But it did seem like a fun show. Was there anybody that like say walked by the table at some point where you're just like, you, I know you. Stop.
Oh, definitely. I think a lot of them were really busy because it was this type of show where it's just like they're the main attraction. I saw Brian Michael Bendis pass by the table. I saw Charles Soule. I think I saw Margaret Bennett a couple of times. And now just people I randomly saw. I'm like, and I turned to my mom. I'm like, that's Brian Michael Bendis. And she's like, that's cool. I'm like, you know that show Powers we watched? Cool. Oh, cool. And she didn't love the show, so I was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. I'm like, he's a big comic writer. And then I also turned to my friends who started to get into comics. I said, hey, it's Brian Michael Bendis. But yeah, and also I know I wasn't at the table. I actually went to go to the bathroom when a Marvel inker came by and like dropped his stuff by. I don't know who it was because my mom's like, oh, here a Marvel inker came and was interested in your stuff. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, and I wasn't there for it. Cool. And it's like 2 inkers dropped by, so that was kind of cool.
What would be even funnier? It's like, oh, your mom goes, oh, some guy named Agent M stopped by your table.
It's like, oh, you know that person? No, yeah, that would have been awesome. But yeah, it was a cool show. I think the creators were very busy. They were just at their table or at a panel all the time. But yeah, I think my one regret, I wanted to interview more people. Like I almost got an interview with the artist of Spider-Gwen, and we had a set time and everything. But his time was super long, so I was just like, I don't think he's gonna have time for it. So I didn't end up going to it, and I was like, oh, I wish I got it, but I didn't. Obviously, with a big line, this is a show for the fans, so you don't want to do that. So yeah, but next year I'll try to get interviews. But like I said, my throat was pretty shot, and I was very tired because I was energetic for 2 days. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna exhibit instead and try to sell this book.
High five, by the way. I'm the only one.
High five.
That I'm not the only one that was watching and loving Powers.
Yeah, I watched the first couple of episodes. We watched 3 episodes for Media Madness. Still got to catch up though.
Oh, so you haven't finished yet?
I have not finished. It is a little bit of a B show, so I've been.
Brian wrote episode 9, and that's probably my favorite episode of the season. And then 10, without spoiling too much, because we've all read the graphic novels, but 10 leaves off basically where the graphic novels start, which I thought was a really cool and interesting way to do the show, instead of having the show flat out be who killed Retro Girl. Instead, they go, oh, here's the end of the show, here's your teaser. Have fun. Really cool. We'll see you next season.
I'm glad they got renewed for another season. I think it definitely because it was PlayStation they got renewed, and I'm happy for them and for Bendis.
If there was any advice I could have given you that weekend, if if I knew Brian would pass your table, I wouldn't say flag him down, but be like, oh, hi Mr. Bendis, just take the shot. Take the shot to talk to Brian, and he will obviously, he probably won't have crazy amount of time, but he will, if you acknowledge and say hi, he'll turn and at least respond and maybe start a conversation with you if he's not too busy. Because that's how I met him back in New York ComicCon. I think that was 2000.
Chris met him too. Yeah,
2010. Oh yeah, Chris met him. Yeah, I remember that. Chris got a couple minutes with him, didn't he?
He did. He got a couple minutes. I gotta say, but that con was great because I got to interview with Dan Didio, so that was a pretty big one. Almost.
Did I ever tell you my Dan Didio story?
No.
It was either 2009 or 2010. It was when Power Girl. Do you remember when Power Girl was coming out? Do you remember what year that was?
Yeah.
Was that 2009?
I think it was. I think I was in high school, so I would say 2010. I think it was.
Okay. Well, I was getting the Terra miniseries, the first issue, signed by Jimmy and Amanda, because I love that miniseries. Dan walks over to get the proof of Power Girl issue #1 from them, and he knew I was right there, so he was flipping through it, but pretty much made sure I could see what the issue would look like as he was flipping through it,
Oh, that's really
and he was
cool.
just yeah, it was a really cool, super like sweet moment, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, he's a
it's
cool guy. He's
yeah,
really technically He's a really cool guy. I've actually met him twice because I remember once I went to the DC booth just to like buy something, and I said, "That's Dan Didio." So like I saw him and we were like very close to like we were like 2 inches away from each other, and then obviously the second time when I interviewed him at New York ComicCon last year, almost Jim Lee. Honestly, I had to push my way to get Dan Didio because there was maybe only 4 people that got the interview, and a lot of people signed up for it. But he's like, oh, he doesn't have a lot of time. So I just kept pushing, like, I really need to get this interview. I really need to get it. So I got it, and then the only person I wasn't able to get was Jim Lee because he didn't have enough time. I'm like, all right, one of them is enough, and I was supposed to get both, but you have to push yourself sometimes. That was cool.
what would you say? And this is in person. You can't include DeFalco or oh well, Greg Bertinelli. Is that how you say his last name? You can't include those guys in person. And who would be the biggest name that you've managed to interview? Where say like also while you were doing it in the back or meet. Not only interview, just meet, where like you're just in the back of your head going, "Oh God, don't geek out," but at the same time, just going, "Oh my God, I'm meeting this person."
There's a lot. So I would say because I've interviewed a lot of TV people. So biggest TV person. Well, the one I geeked out about most was Milo Ventimiglia. So I got to interview him for Mob City. So that was the biggest, like, oh my God, I love heroes. And then one of the biggest also was Dylan O'Brien from Teen Wolf, and he's huge. I love him. So that was really big. Who else? Yeah, Tom DeFalco in person was great. Dan Didio in person was probably the biggest for comic book wise. Was probably Dan Didio. Let me think. In video wise, I would say obviously I really enjoyed the interview with Mako Mermaids we just recently had. But Greg Wiseman, that was really one of our biggest shows. Was Life After Young Justice. So and he's such a great guy, and I've had opportunity to interview him a couple of times. So yeah, Greg Wiseman's was a big one too.
Jim Cummings is going to be at Massive Con in a couple weeks, and there's no chance I'll interview him, but I want to at least meet him because it's like I kind of be like, yeah, I've interviewed Tad Stones and get to tell him how much Darkwing Duck meant to me. And now I'm meeting the voice of Darkwing Duck.
You know what was also a big one? Totally forgot about this because I didn't interview him. I met him a couple of times. Dan Slott, and he knew my show. So I actually the first time I met him was at a Marvel panel, and
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Who did you say?
Dan Slott.
Dan Slott. Duh.
Yeah, so I haven't interviewed him. I've met him a couple of times, and so I was at the Marvel panel, and I was asked a question, and during the Marvel panel, it's the Spider-Man panel, he said, "Oh my God, it's you, Comicuno!" And this is like the whole Marvel panel said that. I was like, "Oh my God, you know who I am!" And then I met him at my store because he's good friends with the people at my store. So I've met him a couple of times, and we've had like long chats about like just writing and stuff. So it was really cool. So Dan Slott was also a big one. I met in person, but I haven't had a chance to interview him. I've been able to talk to in person. So that was very cool. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, no, Dan is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'll finally get him on an episode of the podcast.
He's so busy. That's the thing. Like, he'll talk to you, like, in person, but for interviews, he's such a busy guy.
I was checking to see if anyone left any comments on the video feed, and our buddy Mr. Exile State himself on Twitter, Justin Padgett, he was saying hi, and then he also said he received his copy of Like Father, Like Daughter. He said great book and story.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate that. It's really cool again to see a lot of you guys' feedback. That's also something that's awesome as being a writer. It's like also even the things that are critical of it. I was like, oh, awesome. I really respect your opinion, and then people that really like it and excited about it. It's cool. It's a very cool thing to experience, and hopefully issue 2 will come out soon and you'll experience that too. Issue 2 is much more geeky, so I think you guys will enjoy the references. Issue 3 is very emotional, so very excited for all. Issue 3 I'm probably most excited for you guys to read.
There are digital samples obviously on the website, but going to...
All right, you're pausing now a little bit, Eric.
For a second, hope you can hear me.
I could hear like you're in and out. Can you?
What about now?
You're good now. You're good. So what are you saying?
Okay. No, I was saying I'm curious about like the digital version. Are you going to be releasing pages over time on the website, or do you think that you'll just like keep up the sample and be like, order the whole thing here, or you can get it digitally here,
Yeah,
kind of thing?
we'll definitely not release whole issue online, or else this is also a business too. So
Yeah.
I make money. We wouldn't be able to do that. If we were Marvel or DC, we probably could. But since we're very much an indie company, we can't do that. But we will. We're trying our hardest to bring out webcomics, original content to the website, which we're going to be starting soon. Yeah, I take a little break because my company is working on a huge project, Legacy Code, which like Father Like Daughter will have a crossover story with soon. I also wrote the dialogue for that comic, so look
Oh,
forward
nice.
to that. Yeah, so I was very excited about that, and it stars Comic Book Girl 19, and we have Blake Northcott, who's like helping editing that book, so it's really cool. And Blake Northcott does all the Millar books, so it's really cool experience. But yeah, so that's gonna have a Kickstarter soon, so we weren't able to update the Like Father Like Daughter website right now, but since we're getting into issue 1 being bought, we'll be updating very soon with original content, some pinups and stuff like that. So you'll get that instead of like the regular pages that are in the book to promote the book. That way you guys can buy it.
Awesome. And I blanked again. Cat, quick! I blanked. What was I thinking? Yeah. Wow, that's terrible. My brain just went nope. Bye. I love that Scotty Young print behind you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my store got that for me.
Oh, you didn't actually get it from Scotty?
No. I got this for free at my store.
Cool.
So it's very cool. My store's awesome, and I got this from a friend who does PR work. So he's like, I know you love superhero stuff. I'll give you this, and I didn't go to the IMAX thing, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, I have
but your friend that's awesome. Your friend actually like got you a copy of it. That's really cool.
because he works in like PR, so he's like, "You're a cat. I know you enjoy it." So my other friend got the Superman one. I got the Batman one.
I just sighed because I'm going. I wish I could get excited for that movie.
Oh no, I mean like I'm optimistic about it. I won't say I'm excited, but I'm very optimistic.
That's what I'm saying though. Is I'm not even optimistic because the whole tell me, do you bleed? It's like, if I was Superman right there, I would really hope the next words or response out of his mouth was, dude, you're in a metal suit. All I need to do is break you open like a can opener. You do not want to try to mock me like that right now.
We'll see what happens.
There is no kryptonite in this universe. I will end you.
Very true. We'll see what happens. I'm obviously gonna see it opening weekend.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if I can say I'll see it opening weekend, and that might be a controversial thought to some people listening. We'll see, because I'm really not sure at this point if I want to go out and see that opening weekend.
I see every hero movie opening weekend because I like reviewing it. Even if like I try to give everything a fair shot, so I'll go into the theater, with an open mind.
Yeah, I still like that. Remember when we did the I think yours was the trailer review and mine was the full movie review.
Yeah.
The trailer review got more views than the actual movie review. And I'm like, the hell?
No, I know it happens all the time with trailers. Everyone gets I mean, that's a whole nother conversation in itself, is how trailers are these days, and how pumped people get for trailers, and then there's 10,000 trailers, so once you see the movie you've seen everything, so it's just that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah,
you're gonna check out Jurassic World?
Yeah, actually, I'm not a huge Jurassic Park fan, but I like giving everything a try. That's movies/television shows. So me and my brother are probably gonna hopefully see it this weekend. If not, we might do a double show with Inside Out, because we're huge Disney fans. So Inside Out and Jurassic World. But I'm gonna try seeing it this weekend if I have time.
Inside Out does look pretty adorable.
Yeah, I've heard already great reviews, so I'm very excited about that film. And Tomorrowland was a little, disappointing. I didn't hate it as much as other people. It was a bit on the disappointing side, and I was really excited about that, because I'm a huge Brad Bird fan because of The Incredibles. So, so hopefully Inside Out could redeem itself for Disney a bit.
At least we're getting the sequel.
Oh, yeah, Incredibles 2. I think I know they're working on it now. I don't know.
Yeah, they
how
are
long.
They confirmed it finally. Like what? Like a year ago, I want to say.
Yeah, about a year ago they confirmed that's happening, and I'm like, oh my god, Incredibles is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. So please, please and thank you for this.
It's the Fantastic Four done right because in both the original Fantastic Four movies, 3 out of the 4 were perfect.
Yeah. No, yeah. I personally, I think The Incredibles, I totally agree, is the Fantastic Four movie that never happened. But I personally, because I watched Fantastic Four when I was younger, so I always have a different opinion than people. It's more of a nostalgic factor. I like both movies. I know people don't, but I actually do. But I know it's not a Fantastic Four movie. I like it as a superhero movie, you know?
Hey, I said 3 out of the 4 were perfect.
Hey, that's true. That's true. Yeah, thumbs
We're
up.
not talking about Jessica Alba because that's an easy target for those two movies.
Let's talk about Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. That's what we'll talk about.
Or Michael Chiklis as a thing. Talk about perfect casting right there.
Oh yeah, perfect casting.
I am actually starting to look forward to the new one. After seeing. Oh, sorry, Kat. Go ahead.
I was saying I'm looking forward to it as a movie, and that's it. I don't know as a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, true. But I mean, after that last trailer, it actually looks really surprisingly good, except for Doctor Doom, which nobody can seem to get right.
Yeah, I don't know why. No, I totally agree. Again,
Marvel.
Gotta go in with an open mind with these type of movies, and I will. I'll see it opening weekend. I think it's coming out soon. AntMan's coming out soon too. There's a lot of movies coming out. Open mind. I'm actually pretty excited for AntMan though.
Me too.
I'm a big Cassie Lang fan. My hope, my dream, is that the end scene will be her sneaking in, getting some pin particles. Protecting herself is like, yeah, stature's gonna happen. Don't think it will happen. That's my dream.
10 or 12? It looks like she's about 10.
I think she's about 10. But, if a second sequel comes out, she'll be around the right age to be stature, and then you get a Young Avengers film.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, like 5 years. Give it 5 years. That actress, and then introduce the rest of Young Avengers. You know what I was reading? I don't know if they ever confirmed Clint's names.
You're pausing now. I can't hear you. Hold on.
Give it a minute. Let me know.
You're good now. It sounds
okay. Good. I kind of hope Clint's kids' names are Kate and Barney.
I hope so. I think, I think they will go that route. For some reason, I have a feeling Young Avengers is gonna happen again. It might be just a dream, but it's so possible. Like you could maybe have Wiccan and Speed from a future universe or something.
Like an alternate reality kind of thing.
Yeah, do that. I mean, you don't have to have hulking as a Skrull. You can have him as an Inhuman. It can happen. I want this. I need this.
I mean, we all pretty much nerded out when Vision picks Wanda up for the save because it's like,
oh yeah,
there we go. They're teasing the romance. Yay!
A lot of people didn't know about the romance either. I went with non-comic fans. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, that scene, because obviously they were married, so it's very cool.
Like I said, who would have figured that the youngest Olsen turned out to be the normal one?
Yeah, who knew? I know the Olsens are not coming for a Fuller House. They're not going to be there, so they're not going to be on that show.
To which everybody responds, okay.
It's like, all right, she's so young, you could totally cast somebody else for that.
No, it's okay. We don't really care, because, I mean, it doesn't change anything. It's not like anyone was scrambling to go, oh, what happened to the youngest? No.
Yeah, it's like, what happened to Michelle? What is she going to do?
What's going on with Michelle? No one cared.
Like, all right, she went somewhere. She doesn't see her family anymore. That's fine.
My hope would be that it will never happen, but because of how dirty of a comedian Bob Saget is, they have him have gone through his midlife crisis at the age he's at now. So when they introduced him on the show, he's just the complete dirty Bob Saget that everybody loves as a comedian that he actually is. Because I think that would be the funniest thing imaginable. Because the girls would kind of be just staring at him, being like, "Don't say anything stupid around the kids, please."
I hope they play this as a parody. I know we're totally going off topic, but I hope they play the show as a parody than anything, and say, "Hey, this was Full House," and now we're saying, "How about if Full House actually existed now?" Obviously, it's not as pure as it was back then. So I hope they play it that way. I hope they play it smart. We'll see. I'll watch it. It's Netflix. I'll give it a try.
Both because I'm thinking about John Stamos now. Both John Stamos' new show and Rob Lowe's new shows. Both look fantastic.
See, I mean, I don't know if I'll watch it. I feel like they're gonna. I don't know about Rob Lowe's show. I think John Stamos' show is gonna get canceled.
He's got Ben Savage with him. Where can you go
Yeah,
wrong?
but I don't think they know what type of show it is. Like from what I saw, I'm like, it doesn't know if it's a drama or if it's comedy. It just doesn't know, and I hope they figure it out quickly.
Though Stamos has Josh looking nothing like he did back in the
Oh yeah, Josh
Drake and
Peck.
Josh days.
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
was like, holy crap.
I'll be giving at least the John Stamos one. I try giving all the pilots a try. So I usually go to the Paley Center when they do the early pilot stuff. So I like sit there and just watch all the pilots. So I'll be giving it a try.
It'll be interesting to see what survives this season.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that if Community doesn't come back for season 7, that they at least do the movie.
I mean, hashtag end the movie. And I mean, that ending was so perfect. I saw that finale. It was so great. Such a good episode.
I tweeted at Dan Harmon. I'm just like, thank you.
Yeah, I think he was expecting a lot of negatives tweets. At least that's what he said, and that's why he went off social media for like 2 weeks. And he's like, he got such positive responses because it is like everything this show was. It's meta. It was great. I loved it. And I'd be okay if that was the final. Even if they don't have a movie, I know it's like the inside joke, and they kind of played on that in the finale. They're like, oh, if we don't have a movie, it doesn't really matter, you know? And I think it was a perfect ending to a really under-the-radar show.
Well, even if they do a movie, they at least have to bring Donald back.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I know Donald Glover is doing a lot more movies now, but I mean, I hope they end up doing it.
He's in that Matt Damon trailer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Martian movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I'm really happy Yvette came a couple of times in season 6. I'm really happy. Like, she wasn't obviously in the full season, but she made a couple of hilarious appearances. So Yvette was great.
She was awesome, yeah. Keith David was pretty awesome, and so was Padgett, because I love Padgett Brewster. So like,
she was good.
I've been listening to. Do you listen to Thrilling Adventure Hour?
I don't. But it's part of Nerdist, right?
Yeah, you should. You would love it. I guarantee you would love it. They're actually working on a pilot version of Akron Black, who have obviously been writing a lot of comic books lately. I've been working on a pilot version of yeah. Now I can't think of the name of the thing that Padgett and Paul F. Tompkins do is called hold on. I'm cheating. I got actually check it out.
Oh, very cool. It's Doctor Who?
No, it's Abed and Troy.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, that's so cool.
Hold on. Let me scroll it up. There we go.
And also that ending where they're like, we're not a study group, we're a community. I'm like, that's so great.
Oh, Beyond Belief. I didn't even have to look it up. My brain just caught on. It's called Beyond Belief. Right? Beyond Belief. What?
They did a comic for that, right?
Yep. And they're doing Sparks and Nevada, Marshall and Mars as a comic too. Yeah,
I think I read Beyond Belief. The first issue is a bit on the longer side, I thought. So I was like, we'll see. I might get a trade. But
listen to the podcast, and you will instantly fall in love with both. Sparks Nevada is Mark Gigliardi, who you've probably seen on everything from. He was the lawyer on Parks and Rec that would show up like every other episode. Okay. You remember the lawyer? How like he would talk to Ben? I've only
seen the first season of Parks.
Okay, never mind. I'm trying to think of what else he's been on. Oh, he's in both Channing Tatum 21 Jump Street movies.
Okay.
He's oh wow, who does he play? I think he plays a lawyer in that too. He's a smaller role, but he's really funny. He's the guy that did the you see that Batman sketch a while back on Nerdist that Akron Black wrote, where like Bruce's parents come back from the dead?
Oh, I might have seen it, and I've totally blanking on it, but it sounds familiar.
He plays Thomas Wayne in that.
Oh, very cool.
And Padgett actually played Martha.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I have to check that out. I haven't seen a lot of the Nerdist stuff recently. I think one of my
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, it's cool. One of my friends, Sal from Comic Pop, I think he recently was on like a Nerdist thing, so that was kind of cool.
You should listen to Thrilling Adventure Hour, though. I guarantee you would instantly love it. Each episode is like usually about 22 minutes to a half hour long of both the main shows. Every once in a while they do like a spin-off show that that is recurring, but those are the two main recur. I like how I'm using my hands a lot right now. The they have the two recurring. It's Sparks and Nevada, Marshall on Mars, who is very similar to John Carter meets like Buck Rogers in a way. But you have that, and then you have Beyond Belief, which is the Padgett and Paul F. Tompkins playing married mediums who just rather get drunk than deal with everybody else's problems.
Yeah, that's what I've pretty much seen from the comic. But it sounds cool. I think with the voices it'll be really cool because I really liked her character in Community. I thought she was actually a really good addition. And usually when they replace actors, like, oh, okay, whatever. But she was really good, so.
That's because whenever she would play off of the Dean, she'd just be like, no, stop it. Like, it brought a new element to what Jeff was already doing the years before that, but, like, it added a little more brutal of an element.
Yeah, and I think she knew, like, the place she was taking, It wasn't like, oh, let me try and join the group. It'll be so obvious that this is going to be great chemistry. But, like, they played off, say, oh, I know I'm a new person here. It's like, they play, obviously, such a meta show. So they did it very well, I thought. It's a good season. I hope more people end up watching it because I haven't heard many people talk about it. So
millions. They had very huge numbers.
Sorry. Oh, are they? That's good to hear then. I personally, in my circle, I guess because a lot of people just don't watch me in my circle, and they're like, oh, I stopped watching season 4. I'm like, come on, just watch this last season. It's really good.
Sorry, I lost the charger. I was like, where'd the charger go? But yeah, to gear towards the end, because obviously I'm sure you have stuff to do tonight, as I do. I think I should go for a walk and grab dinner.
Probably eat something now. You actually have time to do that.
I've only had two Sunkist today, so probably be more than that. I'm trying to think. I mean, you know how I end the show, but that'll be at the end of the show. I'm trying to think of what we should talk about to gear towards the end of the show. What is going on in the life of Cat/Comicuno? Like, what is whether it be the YouTube channel or like other stuff that you're working on at the moment. I know we're talking about that at the very beginning, but I figure.
Yeah, I have a lot going on. I have an internship, so I'm excited to start that. I have, obviously, the comic. We're working on issue 2 soon, working on our crossover story very soon. My friend Chris Mount Vernon Kid, he has a DC fan fiction site, so I'm going to be writing Young Justice Season 3, so I'm working on the first episode for that. So it's a slow process because obviously just time-wise it's been hard, but I'm like halfway through that. It's a lot of fun. So that'll be like July 4th, I think that's being released. I've been trying to promote that. Of course, again, my YouTube channel, I've been doing TV. TV shows are a little bit on hiatus because it's like around this time, like summer shows haven't started and the other ones are ending. So I just put an iZombie Season 1 review up, and I will be reviewing Teen Wolf. I might be reviewing Chasing Life. We'll see. I want to review Pretty Little Liars so bad, but it's just a horrible time to review it, so I've been trying to live tweet about it. Yeah, but Teen Wolf will definitely be the main attraction of the show for TV for the summer. And then, of course, the movies coming out I'll be reviewing, and then, obviously, comics. Comic Frontline, go check it out. I have a lot of stuff going there. The Legend of Tomorrow podcast will be starting this Monday. I'll have more news about that very soon. And that's going to be with Greg from Comic Vine, or he used to work on Comic Vine, but he doesn't work there anymore. But Greg Katzman and Tony, who is from Crazy for Comic-Con, which is really awesome. He does a lot of work around. So they're going to be my 2 co-hosts, so we're very excited about that. And then, of course, Media Madness on Thursdays. Go check that out. That's our TV movie podcast that we talk about different TVs and movies every week. And then Comic Frontline live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can go check that out, where we talk about comics every week. And
I was tempted to tell you were forgetting one.
Oh, I feel it. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
No. I was like, the fact that you hadn't said anything about Comic Frontline, I was like, Kat, you're forgetting something. Chris is gonna be angry.
You're gonna be really pissed. Yeah, I remembered Comic Frontline. I was leaving the best for last. But yeah, everything there. Like Father, Like Daughter, go buy the book. We have a form. I'm sure Eric could put in the description below. But we have a form where you can buy the issue digitally, printed, signed, and as many copies we could get. The smaller amount of money we need for Kickstarter, and we could get issue 2 rolling very quickly. So be sure to check that all out. That's a lot to say. Oh, San Diego Comic-Con. I'll be going this year too, so that's gonna be really soon. That's all for now.
But obviously, we actually haven't specifically said where people can find you on the internet. So we've mentioned the channel or the YouTube channels, but not like specifically where they can find them. Like maybe start with like your Twitter, which is the easiest thing in the world to find.
Yeah, at Comicuno. I'm glad no one ever took it. Yeah, at Comicuno is my Twitter handle. Facebook, I have a Facebook like page for everything to Comic Frontline, which Jay runs. Media Madness, which both me and Jay run. We have a like page for that. I have a like page for myself. It's Comicuno Reviews. I think Like Father Like Daughter has a like page, so go check that out. And also, of course, my YouTube channel, Hating Black Heroes /Comicuno. You can search and you'll find it. Comic Frontline, search Comic Frontline, you'll find it. And that's a lot. You can go check out all those stuff.
It is a lot, but
yeah, no, I know. Like it's juggling everything, but it's cool. I love it. I love it all.
See, it's good to catch up because it's been too long.
It was great to catch up. I hope I could be on again soon.
Never. No, I'm kidding.
Never again.
Only time. No. Yeah, maybe. Not maybe, but one of these days when there's a panel episode going on, you know how I do the panel episodes every once in a while. Just have to find a good topic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, keep me updated on it.
Yeah. Anyway, I will hit the stop broadcast button. So thank you everybody for watching, and if you're watching the video on demand via the YouTube page, you can definitely subscribe to the podcast and check out the over 200 episode archive, whether it be iTunes, Stitcher, or the RSS feed. You can do that, or Comic Related, or theouthousers.com. It's everywhere. And you can check out my awesome webcomic, newcomicday.net, because we update every Wednesday. But for the most part, there have been delays lately, but barely any. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.